my home. I would like to have an opportunity to talk with you just for a moment about something that we all are familiar with, and that is childhood memories. You know, I thought about my childhood memories and I wrote about them in a book titled Life is Like a Tootsie Roll Lollipop. I would like to read one of the stories from my book by the same title, Life is Like a Tootsie Roll Lollipop. Just the thought of beginning first grade filled my 6-year-old heart with leaping frogs and kept me hopping with excitement. It was one of the few times that Mama took my sister Sylvia and I shopping for some serious school clothes. We each got new tennis shoes, 2 pleated skirts, red jumper dresses with white blouses, and a hooded coat with buttons shaped like root beer candies. We also shopped at the five and dime store to purchase school supplies, which Mama called our tools for success. We had pencils, Elmer's glue, a box of Crayola crayons, 2 erasers, a stapler, pencil sharpeners. Oh, we had so many wonderful things to begin the school year. We also enjoyed purchasing Blue Horse paper, which was so much better than Fat Boy paper because the Blue Horse trademarks could be clipped, saved, and redeemed for great prizes. Sylvia and I had already saved 40 Blue Horse trademarks, enough for us to receive a blue beanie cap with the Blue Horse trademark in the center. Oh, how we loved wearing those beanie caps. We both can keep saving these trademarks, Sylvia said, and we'll be able to get a bicycle. Well, we never did get that bicycle, but we did save enough to get a transistor radio, and that was pretty cool. When we returned home from school supply shopping, Sylvia and I ran straight to our bedroom, closed the door, and emptied our new stuff on the beds for closer inspection. Sylvia always began trying on her clothes and singing and dancing around the room. I, on the other hand, jumped into bed with my tools for success and began imagining how I would use them in class. I opened my Blue Horse paper, leafed through all of the clean sheets. I used my miniature pencil sharpener to sharpen all 12 of my pencils. I placed them one by one in a little plastic bag to ensure that I would be ready when the teacher said, "Take out your pencils, class, we're going to write." The night before the first day of school, I was so excited. I slipped out of bed, tiptoed to my dresser drawer, grabbed my tools for success and put them in bed with me and slept with them all night, just imagining how wonderful the first day of school would be. When I first saw my teacher, Mrs. Margaret Smith, oh, I thought I was dreaming. She was so beautiful. She stood by the classroom door wearing a red suit and a white ruffled blouse. Soft brown curls fell down to her shoulders and framed her beautiful face. She wore blue high-heel shoes. Her legs were big and shapely like Mama's. Her first words to us were so cheerful and welcoming that they lit up the room and my heart too with such joy. Good morning, students. I'm so glad to welcome you to Peabody Academy. Well, I met Richard Linwood Carter Jr. during recess on my first day at school. He just walked up to me and gave me a handful of Mary Jane candies and started talking. I liked him. He was funny, kind, and good looking too. Richard was always a little taller and bigger than the other boys in class. Over time, Richard shared with me a lot of his life. He lived with his brother Bucko, who was also in first grade and in our class. He had a sister, Michelle, who was in 12th grade. Unfortunately and sadly, Richard's mother died 2 years ago of cancer. So everybody had to just work together to make the family work. Bunko followed Richard around all day long. Richard didn't act as if he minded because he loved his brother, obviously. He was kind to Bunko. Bunko tried to make friends and Richard encouraged him. Sometimes the kids were a little mean to Bunko because, well, he was a little on the chubby side. Both brothers were beautiful in personality. They had light brown eyes and they had the biggest grins you could ever imagine. Popular and beautiful, their sister Michelle would often stop by our first grade class to give Richard and Bunko lunch money or a message from their father. She always looked so lovely. Michelle was also the best dancer in our whole school because she was a head majorette in the Peabody Marching Machine Band. Over the next few months, Richard and I became the very best of friends. Richard and Bunko often stopped by the little grocery store before coming to school, and they shared with me the greatest snacks in the world: Bazooka gum, bit of honey candies, moon pies, root beer barrel candies. Oh, we just had fun eating all those desserts. Sometimes they would tell me funny stories about what Michelle was doing with her boyfriends and how they sneaked up on her. It was just hilarious, but we laughed at any and everything. One day, during nap time, Mrs. Smith stepped outside of the classroom to talk to another teacher. That's when Billy Ray Carpenter decided to pound all the girls on the head with a dictionary just to be mean. When Richard saw me crying and rubbing my head, he jumped out of his seat and he pushed Billy Ray on the floor. Oh, it was on then. The kids yelled, "Fight, fight, fight." And boy, did they fight. Mrs. Smith soon reappeared and separated the boys. I told her what had happened and she said that she was going to call parents immediately. Billy Ray and Richard could not go to recess for the next 3 days. Oh, well, I was glad when Richard's 3-day suspension from recess was finally over and we could get back to having those fun talks and good times outside. I wanted to find out also how things went at home. Did you tell your daddy about the fight at school? Yeah. Did he give you a whipping? Well, he said he was going to get hold of my butt, but he changed his mind when he heard why I had to whip old Billy Ray. Oh, yeah? What did you tell him? Richard took out a small bag of sugar cookies for us to share, and this says something quite remarkable. I told my dad that I was protecting my future wife. When you and I are all grown up, I told my dad I planned to marry you. If you agreed to the idea, of course. I certainly didn't want you to have any kind of brain damage from Billy Ray banging you on the head with a dictionary. Well, you know, what was remarkable about Richard's words is that I had known for a long time that he and I would probably marry once we were all grown up. I just didn't know that Richard knew it too. Of course I'll marry you, Richard, when I grow up. And with that, we sealed the deal with a nice big sugar cookie. Because we were getting along so well, I didn't think Richard would mind if I asked him why he failed first grade last year. Well, it's not because I'm stupid, Richard said. You better be glad you didn't have Mrs. Highsmith for your first grade teacher. I'm right back in first grade again because she didn't like me. No matter what I did, she said it wasn't good enough. Mama was too sick to come out for conferences. Daddy was working all the time. Mrs. Highsmith just didn't care about my problems, so she flunked me. I think she's the meanest teacher in the whole school. innocently. To start with, she walks around with a thick ruler in her hand all day. If you talk without first asking permission, she gives you 5 hard blows in the hand. Oh no, that's horrible, I gasped. Oh, that's only part of the story. Poor old Jeannie Marshall failed to follow Miss Highsmith's directions for writing her alphabet. Mrs. Highsmith gave Jeannie 3 big whacks across her behind. Pow, pow, pow! You could hear those wallops all across town. Oh, that's awful. Well, it's going to be all right this year. Everyone knows, Richard, that you are very smart. And you know, I think you are the bravest boy in the whole world. Well, Richard started feeling better. He wiped his eyes and he tried to look happy again. You know, I'm going to pass to 2nd grade this year because Miss Smith really likes me. Richard was right. Miss Smith really liked all of us kids. She was very nice, very strict, but she never did anything to make us kids feel bad. After dinner that night, I sat close to Mama on the sofa. I decided to wait until I was in maybe the 5th grade to tell her I already found my future husband. But I did want to talk to her about Richard and some of the things that he talked to me about. Mama, why do you think Miss Highsmith flunked Richard last year? He is so smart and he is nicer than any of the other boys in school. Mama always seemed to know the right thing to say in every situation. She walked to the pantry and she came back with a Tootsie Roll Lollipop. Well, Mama, what's that about? Life, Mama said, is a lot like a Tootsie Roll Lollipop. I don't understand that, Mama. Well, a Tootsie Roll Lollipop can tell you a lot about life. You have to lick your way through the hard part to get to the softest, sweetest part of the candy. Life is a lot like that too, baby girl. Sometimes the sweetest part of life is tucked inside some pretty hard experiences. Richard and his family have experienced some hard times. But you know what? I can see that it's already getting better because he has Mrs. Smith for a teacher and he has you for a friend. At recess the next day, I told Richard about Mama comparing life to a Tootsie Roll Lollipop. And Richard smiled and he said, you know, I like that. And no matter what happens, I'm going to see myself just licking that good old lollipop, knowing that the good stuff is inside. School days drifted in soft winds that scattered fall leaves throughout the sky. Winter holidays soon wrapped themselves in snowy delights and drifted into yesterday. 1st grade ended with dandelions and wildflowers ushering in a new day. Regardless of the season, Richard and I just kept on licking our lollipops in great anticipation of the sweetness of each new day. Mrs. Smith promoted Richard and me to the 2nd grade. We all loved Mrs. Smith and told her so in letters, hugs, and kisses. I felt sad that our time together was over. Yet I was excited because now Sibby and I could once again ride our bicycles all day long and sit up late, well, kind of late, watching TV. One summer morning, about 2 weeks after school ended, Mama awakened me and asked that I meet her in the living room. I can still hear the soft rain that was falling that morning. Mama looked sad, sitting in her green rocking chair, so I climbed up on her lap. I touched her face. What's the matter, Mama? Baby girl, I have sad news to tell you.